I look at planning out the next month, but what I look at it from is I look at it from a how do I want my life to look next month perspective. So how many days do I want to work? What days do I want to work? Are there special days that I want to take off? For example, my birthday is in October, so I'm going to take off a week for my birthday. We've also got half term with the kids, so I need to factor some of that time in as well in October. And I look at it from that perspective. I look at it from, okay, what would be fun for me? What would I like to be doing? Today, what I want to speak about is something that I do each month that for me is a really, really important part of my monthly planning. I was doing it, I set some time aside to do it yesterday, and I've just kind of finished it off this morning. And so this is a really important part of my month. I sit down with my calendar. I use a paper planner. Still, I love my paper planner. And I sit down with this and my Google Diary. So as a bit of background, my Google Calendar has like all the client calls and all those kinds of things scheduled out. My paper planner is more of an overview. It's more of a bigger picture, and a lot of personal stuff is in here as well. And so a really important part for me, something that keeps me really sane and keeps me kind of together, is this process I'm about to talk to you about. Is what I was doing a bit yesterday, and then, as I said, finished off this morning. Around about this time of the month is when I do this activity, and it really helps set up my following month. So what I do is I look at planning out the next month, but what I look at it from is I look at it from a how do I want my life to look next month perspective. So how many days do I want to work? What days do I want to work? Are there special days that I want to take off? For example, my birthday is in October, so I'm going to take off a week for my birthday. We've also got half term with the kids, so I need to factor some of that time in as well in October. And I look at it from that perspective. I look at it from, okay, what would be fun for me? What would I like to be doing? So I've got my birthday week, I've got the kids' school holidays. I'm going to be doing a couple of running races that I've got in here. And basically, I am planning out and looking at my next month. I want to book a hairdressing appointment. So I'm listing these things out. You can hear none of these things are business things. All of these things are personal things. Not what do I want to do my business, not what do I want to achieve, not what are our revenue targets, not what are our audience targets, not what campaigns are we going to be running or emails are we going to be sending. This is looking at me and my life and my family's life and planning that. We're going hill walking for a day with some friends. I'm getting all those things into my diary. I'm getting them into my paper diary, and then if I need to block off days, work days, I'm blocking those off in my Google Calendar so that appointments are not booked in for those times. And I am really assessing each month, what do I want my life to look like this month or then the next month? What does that look like for me? Is it working less hours? Is it working more hours? Both of those things can work fine for you. Am I doing school pickups? Am I doing school drop-offs? What does my personal life look like? Because like I always say, we really need to ensure as business owners that our business supports our life and not the other way around. When it's the other way around, you get stuck in a business that you end up resenting, and it is not a fun place to be. So making sure that you are concentrating and really focusing on what you want to achieve in your life. And by achieve, I don't mean you need to have, crazy goals to run an ultra marathon. I mean, like, what do you want your day to day to actually look like, and getting that planned out. Now, for example, as I'm looking at doing this, I have some stuff that actually is going to end up in October. So I'll just put those in my October sheets. In my October planning, as I'm doing that, I wanted to book a spa day. They have no availability in October. I booked it into November already. So you don't have to confine it to the following month, you can start looking further afield. Perhaps you are a business that books up jobs months in advance. Therefore, maybe you need to actually look further in advance than I am looking here in order to ensure that you have the right times blocked out. I was speaking to a client last week, and he was saying that he is starting to book up for November. And I said to him, you need to make sure that you have your own time off in your diary already, so you're not just booking all the way through, and before you know it, you have no day off until Christmas. You need to make sure that you are planning at the right interval for how your business runs and how far in advance you book yourself. For me, it's fine to do it now for next month. It's not a problem. I don't book that far in advance typically. So that works for my business, but it might be for yours. If you want time off and days off and you want to change what your week looks like, you might have to look slightly further out. But what I advise that you do is you do get time each month to really pull back to what is the vision for my life, and am I actualizing that now? Am I making sure that that is being brought into reality and brought into the current as much as it possibly can be now? What do I want my day, my week, and my month next month to look like? How can we start mapping that out? Whether you may need to have a, sit down with a partner, spouse, roommate, whatever, to help plan that stuff out as well, if that's appropriate for you in your life. If you're doing joint things together, you may need to get them involved in some of this planning process as well, some of this forward-looking process. But what do you need to get in there? What do you want to put in there? And as I said, all these things that I am thinking of, these are very much, okay, my life. And I will fit my business around that. I will fit what I need to do in the business around what I want my life to look like. Now, some people might say,
well, it's all very well for you. You've got your revenue where you need it to be. You've got a team that's working for you.
That does not mean that you can't also do this kind of thing. It may mean that your ideal month next month does not look the same as mine. And it may mean that your ideal month next month is slightly further away from that true vision that you have. But that does not mean that you cannot take steps now towards that. You can still do that regardless of the size of your team and regardless of the size of your revenue. This is about getting smart with your business, and it's about understanding the parameters of your life and how you slot those in to your overall business picture and getting them working for you, because that for me is the ultimate version of freedom, is a business that lets me work in this way. And I want that for everyone else as well, a business that lets them work in a way that is going to give you the life that you want to live. Now, I want to work a few days a week. I don't want to not work at all. I love what I do. So that's how I set up my month. I want to work a few days a week. I'll set my month up to do that. Some weeks it might be 4 days or 5 days. Some weeks it might be 2 days. I might have a week off, but I'm setting it up in the way that's going to work for me, my life, and my family, and not, quite honestly, anyone else. I offer slots to clients in a time that fits in with my schedule. I do these trainings and lives in a time that fits in with my schedule. Now, obviously, I'm cognizant of other people's schedules. I'm cognizant of time zones. I'm cognizant of, when people typically work. And I have some, parameters around that for myself. So I try and match up those parameters. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to start doing, for example, client calls in an evening, because that's not how I want my life to look. I don't want to work in evenings, so I'm not going to. I'm building my business in a way that is in alignment with my life and the life I want to live. I don't do work at the weekends. That's not what I do, and I never want to. Therefore, I'm not going to start doing things at weekends for my business. I'm not going to put meetings in the weekends. and I want to reduce my days and my hours. So I'm going to block those times off in my diary so that I can achieve those other things I want to achieve. I've just signed up for a cycle course on Monday mornings, for example. That's what I'll be doing on Monday mornings. And I urge you to see how you can do the same. And what I don't mean is take Monday mornings off, but work all day Sunday if that is against your values. Make sure that everything is pulled together in alignment. But you can absolutely live this version that you want to live next month. Try it. See how your life changes.